I don't know if you can hear that, but it's definitely not 100% happy.
Damn, it's nasty. Holy shit. Yo, okay, so this is legit the first one I'm pulling out right now. Moment of truth, guys. This was my dad's high mileage, pride and joy, daily driver, Porsche Boxster 986. And unfortunately my dad passed away last year. And now, well, all I can say is my only goals for this car is simply to keep it and drive it, just like my dad did. And you know what? That was actually going quite great until about a few weeks ago when I was driving and all of a sudden I just heard this loud bah! But like really, really loud. And luckily I was right next to a shopping center, so I decided just to get the car out of gear, idle it all the way into the shopping center, and then once I was there, I switched the car off immediately. With the car standing there in the shopping center parking lot, I did all my checks, and I couldn't really find anything that was wrong with the car. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna risk it, I'm gonna start the car again. Because, okay, backstory, during my short ownership period of this Porsche Boxster 986, I've been watching a lot of videos and reading up on it, and obviously the most scary thing that can happen is having IMS failure. That means engine done, car is done, game over. So I really genuinely thought that that might be the case when I broke down. But I decided to start the car, and once I started the car, it didn't actually sound all that weird. It actually looked and sounded and smelled quite normal. So I decided to drive back to my mom's place. My mom's place was just closer at the time. And on the drive to her, the only thing I noticed was that the car was down on power, like it was in limp mode. So on that drive, I thought to myself, if I'm lucky, it might just be an ignition coil that failed. So
I don't know if you can hear that, but it's definitely not 100% happy. So interestingly, we've got no lights on the dash.
So that's exactly where we are today. All I want to do today is I want to inspect the ignition coils and then figure out if one or more of them have cracks or damage to them. And obviously then we need to decide if we want to replace one or all of them. Best practice is obviously to replace all of them. Now, on this car, it's actually pretty straightforward to change the ignition coils. Not that I've ever done it before. And obviously, yes, it looks much easier online than what it actually is in real life. But according to my YouTube research, all I need to do is I need to jack the rear of the car up, remove this wheel on this side, and then I should be able to access the 3 ignition coils on this side of the engine, and obviously do the same on the other side for the other 3. Obviously, this is a flat 6, a 2.5 liter Boxster 6 engine. So yeah, that's about it. So let's get cracking. Okay, so this is actually one of the first times that I actually remember to loosen the wheel nuts before jacking the car up. But yeah, you're gonna want to do that. So I'm probably going to get a lot of crap from Boxster owners for jacking my car up from the rear subframe. But I saw this random picture on the internet which says this is a rainy day jacking point. And well, it kind of did look like it wanted to rain on this day. So I thought, what the heck. Even though we're not really going to be working underneath the car, obviously you still have to use jackstands. So now there's just 2 10mm socket screws that I need to remove. First one is here. Okay, so that just gave us a bit more access to get in there. There we can see the 6 ignition coils right there. Very, very easily accessible. I almost forgot. We kind of don't want to get electrocuted, so what we need to do, we have to go to the boot and we have to remove the ignition relay switch. Okay, so to do that, I want to peel this back, this piece of carpet in the back. This should just pull out. Okay, so I just peeled back that piece of carpet in the boot, and then I believe this one here is the ignition relay switch. So I just want to simply remove that. Okay, so that should be it right there. So next up, we're using a 5mm hex. Okay, so now I just want to undo the plastic connector clip. It's very difficult to see, but Ah, that was actually very, very simple. I don't know if you could see that. So we undid the 2 screws and also undid the connector. So now it should simply just pull out. Nice.
Nice.
Simple as that. Damn, it's nasty. Holy shit. Yo, okay, so this is legit the first one I'm pulling out right now. Yeah, first of all, it's very dirty, lots of oil on it. So here we can see this doesn't look all that bad, but check here. It's completely torn. Let me see if I can just show you guys what I'm looking at. Look at that. That is crazy. Cracked all the way through. Okay, so that's the first one I just pulled out now. I'll obviously check all of them. And if needed, I need to replace all of them. I'm pretty sure my dad didn't replace all of them at the same time. So I'm expecting to see some of them that look pretty new. If they really look new, then I'll just leave them. Okay, so this is the second one. I can't really see any cracks or anything strange. It has to be that first one that's caused me the problem. Let's check the last one this side. Okay, this is number 3 on the right-hand side of the car. And it also looks pretty freaking good. So I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be that first one that's the issue.
Wrong.
Man, I probably need to replace all of them. It's the right thing to do, but it's gonna be a bit tight on the budget right now, but it has to be done and the car deserves it. So I guess that's what we're gonna have to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the other side off camera, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be that one that's broken. So here we have all 6 ignition coils laid out on the table, and let's just look at them in detail. So this one is the first one I pulled out, and obviously that is crazily cracked. The second one looks fine, no issues. Third one, same story. Okay, now getting to the next side. So this was the left-hand side of the car. This first one looks perfect. The second one, look at that. Another one crack. That just also indicates to me that I need to replace all of them. They're all the same brand. I've got no indication when any of them were changed. So the best way is just gonna be to replace all of them.
One eternity later.
All right, so a few days ago, we identified that at least 2 of the ignition coils are completely done. And I finally got my new parts from Goldwagen. So 6 brand new ignition coils. Cost me a fortune, at least in my eyes. And we're not cheaping out this time. We're gonna replace all of them. I also did take out one of the spark plugs. Now, I found a message from my dad. Those have actually been replaced less than 2 years ago, and the car hasn't really been driving for the last year. So I'm not going to replace the spark plugs, but let me know if I definitely should do that. As you can see, it's not very difficult to get in there. So it's not really a difficult job to do. Should they need replacing, I can easily do that. But yeah, among other things, we're also planning a wedding. So I don't want to have my fiance divorce me before we even get married. So yeah, let's quickly see what these look like. So as you can see here, we've got the old ignition coils, and then here is the new one. I haven't even checked what it looks like. I'm just assuming it's the right one. Ta-da! And the great thing is that it's the exact same brand as the old ones. And I think it's the wrong ones. No, it's correct. It just looks way newer than the old ones. Sure, I hope it's correct. Okay, on the side, that looks great. What threw me off is just, it looks slightly bigger, but as you can see where the screws are, it looks to be exactly the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and replace the first one, and I'm really hoping this is gonna work. So these screws use an 8mm socket. That's the screws in. There we go. Okay, so what you think? All 3 ignition coils on this side of the engine are in, and super easy job, and it looks amazing. I'm just going to clean up a bit around the wheel well, and then I'll do the other side. And then I can still be on time for work today.
Great success!
Okay, both sides done, and I'm super impressed. So let's put it all back together, and then we'll try to start it and hear if she actually runs better this time. Fender liners back in, wheels back on, not torqued yet. That's why I don't have the sensor caps in, so that I remember. Last thing to do is to put back the relay switch. Moment of truth, guys. Let's prime the system. Woo! That sounded very, very good. Oh, I'm so happy. I just love the smell of a catless exhaust in the morning. I'm so freaking happy. Damn. I need to do a bit of a cleanup. I need to get everything out from underneath the car. But that sounds like a massive success. I'm so glad we did that. And that's the first repair I did on my dad's car. And Dad, if you're watching, I hope you enjoyed that.
Later.
Alright, so I'm not going to lie to you guys and act like this is the first time I'm driving the car since it's been fixed. I have actually driven it, not far though, but I know that it's fixed. The reason why I didn't show you guys back then is after I filmed that video with the exhaust and the startup, I let it idle for a bit and switched the cameras off and so on, and I started hearing this extremely strange noise. This noise that really to me sounded like the car was ticking. I was really paranoid and I just expected the worst. I thought maybe there's more damage than I actually originally anticipated. But since then I've actually gone to a family friend, mechanic Ron. He plugged in his fancy scan tool, there were no issues. This road's bad. He plugged in his scan tool and there were no issues, and yeah, he just tested a few things on the car and he said that there's nothing to worry about. He actually just told me that I should probably just like drive it hard again for the first time in a while.
It seems very responsive. Maybe it needs to get a good blowout.
Since this happened, I've been afraid to like go over 1,500 revs.
Well, that's all. You must probably blocking the whole flipping thing up. You can unplug that. Yeah, you must probably blocking the whole system up. Give it
Interesting.
A good burst. Seems very responsive.
Okay. Because it has been standing a lot. So I think there's some sort of an exhaust blockage, so not worried about that. But yeah, so glad to be driving the Boxster again. It feels amazing. As you can see, today is not really the best weather for driving this car. I think it's midday and it's probably like 16 degrees Celsius. Wearing a hoodie for the first time since last winter. So yeah, winter is coming. But no, the car's feeling great and I'm so glad I did that job. Oh yeah, this is also the first video that I'm uploading since my previous video about South Africa's forbidden classics. And I just want to say the reception I got on that video is just incredible. So thank you. Thank you guys so much for the support there. Yeah, obviously surpassed 1,000 subscribers by quite a bit. Got a few new people. And yeah, I know this might be very different from the last video that you watched if you newly subscribed now. But yeah, this is actually kind of why I started this channel. 2 reasons actually. The first reason was that I wanted an excuse to be able to spend money on old cars and shit boxes and so on, because that is what I'm passionate about. The other reason was I wanted to improve and get better at storytelling. I mean, both of these can exist on the same channel, I believe. Let me know if that's not the case. So what I'm thinking now is that I want to do like one video
where I'll do something on my own cars, and then the next video will be something where I tell a story or a review or something like that. But yeah, obviously I'm still new, still figuring it out, so don't judge me too much. But I do really love doing this, so thank you guys so much for the support. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.